Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Greetings, greetings. I see you all connecting. African reality, and I already see some high emotions that are coming up right now. Regardless of my internet that is basically live, I'm waiting for our honorable guest, Dogherty, who is connected from Accra, Ghana. Yes, make sure you're inviting guests. You're going to be calling on this show. We're just having some technical setbacks a little bit. You can see. Trying some stuff out here in the studio. We have a lot of new applications in the studio, and our studio is a movable one for the studio. So there's some stuff that is actually acting up. Incidentally, or topic of this product. So today we want to discuss, want to hear your opinion. We already know Africa is Morocco is not Africa. Woo! Today it's gonna be hard. All right. Eugene, I can see Eugene in the studio. Eugene, can you hear me? Try and add Eugene. Wow. Eugene, just give us a wave that you're just hanging on your seat. Can you wave to the audience? Eugene? Eugene, can you hear me? If you can hear us, give us a sign. Eugene is connecting all the way from Gambia. And he is our young executive correspondent and leader in the Gambia. And he wants to be on this show, to talk about to moderate the conversation who's going to win the World Cup, FIFA World Cup. Though it is in Qatar, it seems as if Africans from the northern part are bringing up this giant cup back to the continent of Africa. So we want to share your excellence, your impressions, your opinions. Yesterday we had a conversation with Sister Felicia, and it was all about Black excellence. And now the social media this morning and since yesterday has been very, very active. People are celebrating. While some are celebrating, Africans are still divided in their opinion. It truly, non-Africa Morocco belongs to Africa. Come on, come on, come on, come on, people. Opinions are out there on the social media questioning. They do celebrate Africa. They celebrate Morocco. They celebrate Tunisia, Algeria, but they still question the history of whether Northern Africans, that have the white skin, the straight hair, the Arabs, they call them the Arabs, if they are truly Africans. So the question is, must they be truly African for us to celebrate? That's the one question. The second question is, they are on the map on the continent of Africa. How can we really divide this Africa that we begin to chop the pieces that the Europeans have already chopped during the colonial times? And now we Africans again are in the minds of even chopping them further. So we want to hear your opinion. It is very clear that Morocco is going to bring back that competition. It's going to bring the big giant cup from Qatar, to the continent of Africa. And we've had a lot of interviews, even where, the coach of Morocco, who is a Moroccan, was questioned on one of these interviews and asked whether, the win is on the side of the Arabs or it is a win for Africa? And he was so shocked about this question. And he said, no, a win for Morocco is the win of Africa, because it's all about Africa now. It's all about a continent of one people. So now the question is, Africans will really have a problem. Africans, we are going to have a problem. We're going to have a problem because at the time that we create the Africa that we want, there's still going to be a lot of mix and question on, like, now who is truly African? You understand? So we want to start already by feeling the vibes here. How can a country that belongs to Africa amongst the 55 or 54 nations of Africa not be recognized? So our history is not putting some facts together. That's what Africans are saying. Like, no, yes, we do celebrate the victory. We're happy that Morocco is going to beat out Croatia. That's a fact. So it's even going further for people to like research, is Croatia in Europe? And so it's going to be Africa versus Europe. You understand? So this are all, I mean, the social media is bubbling. It is bubbling right now. But we want to know, apart from whether Morocco belongs to Africa or not, what is your opinion about the games? I mean, Qatar has been making so much noise, and that noise is due to the presence of Africans. That's a fact. If we see the dancing out there, we see the choreography out there, we see the Afro beats, the drums. I mean, the celebrations is either coming from North Africa, Morocco, or it's coming, you know, from Spain, because even Spain also, you know, it's just a border town to Morocco and Algeria to North Africa. And of course, you know, so, I mean, we have a problem, Africa. We are about a common goal, a common continent, one Africa and one people worldwide. So if we even start dividing North Africa as not being, according to our history of Africa, so what about, you know, humanity, the entire humanity that came out from Africa, that the whole world. So at some point in time, Africa on the continent, Black Africans, you're going to have a problem. You're going to fight a war now between who has African. And so do we want to think that we're going to start erasing the part that Africa is the cradle of humanity? And so like tomorrow, Europe, Americans who are cousins or British is going to come up and say, of course, we do all come from Africa. That's what history is saying. Humanity comes from Africa. So what are you going to be saying about that, people? What are we going to be saying about that? Africa, we are on fire. We are on here. So I want to hear your opinion. I want to hear you call into the studio, use our WhatsApp number, and call +49 1578 211 2379. I mean, we're still struggling to get Eugene connected from the Gambia, and that's why you see him coming and going back. He's just hanging, no voice, nothing. But I'm very pretty much sure that we can have him on this conversation as we roll up. So yes, who is going to be the champions, world champions? Africans? I don't want to know who. If it was Cameroon, like we've been hearing a lot of first time, we heard that it was the first time in history that an African nation or Cameroon beat Brazil. Okay. And now we're hearing it's the first time that Morocco, an African country, is going into the semifinals of the FIFA World Cup 2022 in Qatar. And yesterday, while we were having a very important, nice, sweet conversation in our family with Sister Felicia, we were talking about Black excellence. Okay, so it's gonna be hot, Africa. It's gonna be hot. And when we were celebrating our excellence, now we begin to talk about the African rising as a continent of one people, as a continent of humanity. And the question actually came in from a brother who asked, what about what about creating a one Africa League? So if we're going to create a One Africa League from the Pan-African Daily TV, so we definitely, from the opinions that are coming out there, that Morocco or Algeria or Tunisia and all these Northern African countries, because of their background and their history, they are not going to be a part of that league. Or what are you saying? Please wake up. We want to build a One Africa for Africans worldwide. Okay? And share your opinion with us. Identity is not a function of color. Okay, so yes, it is Africa, One Africa for Africans worldwide. And today we celebrate Morocco because they've made it as the giants of Africa. You know, to be in this semifinals is not a walk in the park. So yes, we want to hear your opinions about that. Share it in the comment with us, or you call us live in the studio. Okay, we want to hear what you think is an African. You are celebrating out there, you're dancing, everyone is just enjoying Africa for all. That's what Atien Dang is saying. I also think so, Africa for all. So at the point we go to this history, we're going to understand that, you know, Africa owns the world. The whole world is Africa. At the end of the day, if humanity comes from Africa, all the race that we see in other cultures. And that's why on the Pan-African Daily, our researchers are busy really informing us to say, of course, look at the pyramids in North America, in Europe, on the continent, in Egypt, everywhere they were built by Africans. So which Africans? Okay, so there's going to be a lot of fight. Whether Africa, from which color, from what angle, but the good news is the world is Africa. The world is Africa. So what is your opinion? Yeah, I do understand. I do understand. I do understand. I understand your comments. I understand what you're saying. And I'll be flipping those comments out here from my chat, from those that are sharing. You say, love you to death, sister. Morocco doesn't see themselves as Black Africans. You see, that's another opinion. Another opinion from our brother Shaka is saying, yes, but Moroccans, they don't want to belong. They don't want to belong to Black Africa. That's a matter of color. But do they not want to belong to Africa or to belong to Africans of color? That's the question out there. And this is a very important conversation out here, people, because that's the one thing that we've never been addressing. North Africa, do they belong to Africa? Why are the North Africans not a part of Africa? And today we are seeing a global celebration, Africans jubilating in terms of sport and say, Morocco, we love you, bring us back that cup. But Africans are still not sure. Should I celebrate them as, so where do we throw Morocco as a matter of fact? Why do you African people put your brothers in the North African countries? Where are you going to position them? Where are you going to position them? You're going to start redefining the map of the entire continent of Africa. Where are you going to position? Where are you going to position Morocco? All right, I have another very interesting comment here. Angula is saying, Jamel mistreat is just enemies and hate appetite in them. That's poison from the land of Israel. Okay, all right, that's the opinions that are coming out there. But I think we don't want to get into the focus of, are we celebrating the victory of Morocco, bringing back the World Cup to the continent of Africa as Africans, or we're still even going to divide our opinions in that? It's the same thing like somebody's like, now if Cameroon or Senegal won the African nation World Cup, or the World Cup in Qatar, how are we going to be jubilating? So we're going to be celebrating and saying Cameroon won the FIFA World Cup as an African country, or as an identity, or it's a win for Africa. Now it's bringing us to a very important critical question, why we are talking about a one continent Africa, one currency Africa, one passport Africa, for Africans at home and abroad. Now you see, we will not be entering into this confusion, because if Senegal was going to bring that World Cup, Senegalese will be celebrating. And you see, it's so insane. Americans went there with one single team. It is America playing. America. We did not see North American countries. Yes, of course, America going as a single nation with 55 federal states, or 51. But they went in as a single soccer team. So if America would win, it's going to be a win for America. Let's be serious. It's going to be a win for America. But you see what is happening on the continent, why we are so confused, why we are advocating for a one Africa, why we think we need a one Africa continent, one leadership, one currency, one passport, one language. It is still not making sense in our heads as Africans. These are samples, these are tools that we're seeing today. So if Africa is winning this World Cup, it is who? I'm going to pick up my first guest in the studio, and I'm so happy to listen to you wherever you're calling from. Where are you calling from? Tell us your name and tell us your opinion on this situation right here. Croatia or Morocco?
My name is Dennis, and I'm calling from Atlanta.
Thank you.
Georgia, in the United States. Opinion, basically, we are using the African label based on certain situations selectively. I did hear the coach of Morocco said he's representing Africa, but I don't think as Morocco as a country have basically associated themselves with Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Even Libya to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
And when we look at Libya, Morocco, and Egypt, countries that have been, in terms of diluting their skin color, and it seems, with Morocco, they're lighter skin, and basically they tend to lean towards European. Of course, they were colonized by France.
Mm-hmm.
So the convenience of labels based on situation. So we've got to look at it now. Kwame Nkrumah, yes, we would like to have a United States of Africa, but it is a far-fetched theory because the countries and the leadership in Africa, in these individual countries, wouldn't want to give up their titles because they feel they lose a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Compared to if we come together as a people, as Bob Marley would have a song that says Africa Unite.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to have so much issue with that because, as I said, the European countries or the colonial masters have a hand in each of these countries, and it wouldn't be in their best interest for us to unite. So when we look at Morocco, Libya, Egypt, there is no coming together, only strategically for certain issue. And as the continent, we are not respected as the cradle of civilization and actually the original man. So until we as a people are respected, no others are going to respect us. So it is a situation where, because we've been colonized and we don't have, in my opinion, an original thought in our body, we're going to always have this European-centric view. So my solution to that is that we've got to separate. We cannot invite those folks into our country because they will have a lot of influence. They already have, especially with Christianity and the way we operate and stuff like that. Solution is you've got to get rid of them. Don't invite them to a country. We've got to struggle on our own to find our own path, find our way back to how we used to do things before being colonized. Because if the Bible is 2,000 years old, what is it that we practice as a people prior to Christianity?
Exactly.
So we've got to look at that. So if the influence of Christianity is 2,000 years, what is it we did? They come to civilize us? That is a wrong bunch of crap. So until we are able to forget about them, do not invite them into your country, because I was in Ghana several years ago and I saw Mormons in Ghana. Why would we allow that in our country? And we are so inviting to these people. We've got to stop that. Why is the leadership allowing our people to leave and go to Europe to find better when it's right there? Here's it. They're going to recolonize Africa because our people in there are busy trying to leave because leadership is not making the environment. I mean, every known natural resources demand is on the continent.
Mm-hmm.
So why are our stupid leaders just care about themselves as opposed to the people that they are governing? So it simply needs a different approach, because we can't keep doing the same thing over after 50, 60 years and expect a different results. And I made the comparison. I also went to Singapore, and they had gained independence around the same time that Ghana had gained independence.
Correct.
And look where Singapore is as a country compared to where Ghana is. So we've got to start from our youngsters to teach them Pan-Africanism and not to lean towards European for our bread and butter. Why, when you have the resources, you need to call in Europeans to cultivate it? We've got to teach our own to do that, and then you're going to be in control of your own destiny, as opposed to having people coming into your country, and then they have the know-how, and they give you 5 or 3%, and they're taking the rest. 5 or 3% for the country as a whole. So we've got to have better sense than what we are actually doing today. It seems like these people are able to outsmart us, and we do not have the solution. They come in, get favorable terms, and you are left holding the bag.
Can you hear us, Eugene?
African people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, come on, my African people, get some sense, or else, as I said, if you don't have sense, you are being sentenced to a life of poverty and enslavement. And so when it comes back with it, when I looked at the game, I really wasn't rooting for Morocco. To tell you the truth.
Okay.
Although they're in that part there, I wasn't really, because if you look at the makeup of the country, and as Moroccans, where are the darker Moroccans? Where?
Okay. Wonderful.
Where? The prominence at all.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for your comment. Thank you for your opinion. Thank you for your for your time. Morocco, a lot of Africans are saying whether they're black or not. Nathaniel is saying, I'm a Nigerian and I'm from Nigeria and I'm watching Pan-African Daily TV from Nigeria. Morocco is going to win the World Cup, for we are Africans. Thank you so much for your opinion. Thank you for that bait. Now we know that one is routing. And so when Morocco wins, Nathaniel's, you have a surprise gift from Pan-African Daily TV, okay? So note it and make sure you remind us on this. And we also hear another chat and a comment coming from Solomon Tessema, who is saying, I'm for Morocco. Morocco is going to win. I don't care whether they're Africans or not. We're talking about a win, and a win is a beautiful thing. So good. Fine. Thank you so much for your opinion. Yes, irrespective or regardless of a win whether it's from Morocco. All we want is a win for Africa at this point in time. When we'll get into details to begin to find out about Pan-Africanism, who are truly the Africans, and we're gonna really have a problem. Like I said, if we go back to humanity, it's all from Africa, then the world is Africa. Peace, Banana Bantu. Peace to the beautiful queen, and yes, love you all. By Embo, by UKA, by Yete. Thank you so very much. Yes, we're also hearing about Sudan. So what is the voice from Sudan saying? Don't forget Sudan. Is Sudan playing? We're talking about Sudan is the land of the blacks. Okay, that's the meaning of Sudan. So I don't know what we should be talking about Sudan in what context, right? Yes. So we do understand. I hear Matamera in the comments saying, yes, we love Morocco, we love them, but Morocco doesn't identify themselves as Africans of color. So even if they want to ascend or to accept Africa, they want to impose also their religion and their Arab cultures on Africa, particularly on its women. So yes. So of course, Heru is saying Morocco is Africa. Unfortunately, some Africans in motherland and America don't want to be Africans. Shame on them, but we love them and welcome them. Wonderful. Thank you for your opinion. Thank you so very much. Yes, greetings from us. Eugene has been here a couple of times, our guest for tonight, and cannot connect, unfortunately. I see him in the green room, but his camera is off or his voice is off. He doesn't hear me. We don't hear him. So that's actually one of the issues that we're facing out here. He's connected again, but I'll bring him to the show, and so no comment on this. It's really unfortunate because we were here to have a very good, nice conversation with our correspondent from Gambia. The leader of the young professional executives of Pan-African Daily, and he had a lot to share with you, particularly on terms of volunteerism and Pan-African Daily, because we're coming up with the Agenda 2023 Young Professional Executives of Pan-African Daily TV. And the recruitment and the conditions and the criteria and the structure is currently going on. Eugene, who is leading the chapter of Gambia, and Gambia is actually one of the most proactive working group out there, wanted to share his experience on what their expectations. So if you are willing to be a volunteer on PADTV as a journalist 2023, these are the criteria you have to meet, and this is the way to apply. I do know we have always been sending out applications for volunteerism, and even our campaign 2021 is running up to 1 million subscribers and asking for people to volunteer. Most people and most volunteers have been sending a lot of information to us via email, and they just don't know what it's all about. So yes, before we enter 2023, Eugene was here to actually upgrade and to advise all interested volunteers of the PAD TV correspondents in all the countries in Africa and in the diaspora to start warming up, right now. Eugene, can you hear us? Can you even just wave us, just like a handshake if you see me? Can you hear us? Yeah, that's it. And Eugene is a professional, is a teacher, is a coordinator, and has been going from community to community, schools to schools, talking about Pan-Africanism, preaching the good gospel of the beautiful stories of one Africa, one passport, one leadership, one continent, one Africa at home and abroad. And yes, he's putting out a beautiful structure for young professionals of PAT TV. And we already have existing correspondents in 48 African countries and the diaspora, and we want to launch the campaign of PAD TV Academy. The Pan-African Daily TV Academy is going to train all our young professionals and those that are eager to be on the correspondence, because we're building a legacy which is the Pan-African Daily TV, the main media in which Africa tell their stories from their perspective, not the conservative medias. Okay, not some people going out there cooking some stories and come and telling them in your name. Not some other person just telling your story and your history, which you don't even know. Not any person taking your market share and your voices away from you to speak in your name. No, we are saying no and no again and no. So in order to condemn, in order to criticize, in order not to be a victim of this, then do your own. We have a prominent Baba who said, if you don't like my book, write your own. That's exactly what we're doing. That's exactly what we're doing on Pan-African Daily. We don't like Africans being molested or being degraded, their stories being shown on all national TVs as the continent of poverty, hunger, diseases, war, underdeveloped primitivity, a continent without a culture, because everything that they fed you is your history started with colonization and slavery. And now new Africa, the African that Africans are creating and bringing their voices on the platform, they say, no, we know who we are. This is who we are. These are our stories before you came as colonizers, before you came as enslavers, before you came, as to take our people, our siblings away from us, before you came again to recolonize us, before you take our people and put against us, even our leadership. This is who we are and this is who we were. So that's the story of Pan-African Daily. Like we say, Africans are in the media every day. Every day you see faces of Africans in every media on this planet. But none of this media is telling the story according to their perspective, except from Pan-African Daily TV, the newly created voices of Africans worldwide. Okay, so yes, we're going to start our academy and we're going to teach how to report from a Pan-African concept. We're going to share your stories with you. If you are a journalist, you're listening to me out there, we know a lot that have put aim into this concept of Pan-African Daily. All of you that have been contributing, sharing in the chat, sharing, following us on our spaces. Our Facebook page is highly followed. Pan-African Daily TV YouTube channel is close to 82,000 YouTube subscribers, organic subscribers, and millions of following with millions of views right across the continent and abroad. This is a proof that Africans need this Pan-African Daily TV as a TV channel, and they will do nothing than push it forward and to get a satellite which Africans can tell their stories by themselves. And I'm happy to be the visionary and the founder and host of this mega big project, of this big vision, because we don't roll with small things. Okay, that's what Africa is. And so we congratulate Morocco in their lead. We congratulate them in their position, in their push. Regardless of all our story and our history, we're building a one Africa for Africans worldwide. And so we are supporting them in all aspects of our life to say, yes, we are Africans. And you see the brother from Sudan saying, if we want to focus on Arab, what about Sudan? If we are focusing on their culture, of their background and their religion and their structures, what about Sudan? What about Algeria, Libya, Tunisia, Egypt? Their identity is Arab and Muslim, but they are Africans. So we should stop this foolishness of saying we are Africans here, we're not Africans there. When we get to a one Africa, we will sort out all that miseducation and misinformation. Okay, we're gonna build a plural, not a singular Africa, but a plural. As you can see, we come in all shapes and colors and forms and religious backgrounds and settings and opinion. All of us have been miseducated. We don't even know who we are. until we start learning, you know, the pre-ancient African history, which we're doing on the Pan-African Daily every day, to ask this pertinent question, like our brother called out here and asked, who were we before the colonizers came? Who were we? What were we doing? Before the time, the period of enslavement, before the period of colonization, what was Africa? What did you do? What did you create? What did you believe in? Okay, so yes, we're going to keep those ones as internal matters, but as a public matter, we are Africans worldwide. So yes, we have to take out that toxic of hate. That toxic of hate. I'm not saying you, even if our brothers and sisters in Morocco that are thinking, oh, we're done. To be honest with you, the Africa that Africans are creating, you would be a part or you are nothing. That's a fact. You would just love to belong. And that's the truth. Because our history, our images that they portray about the African doesn't even make an African to feel proud. So it's not just the issue of Morocco, it's the issue of even us Black Africans. We know a lot of Africans that don't even want to identify. Most have given up their nationality, particularly in the countries where they are owning passports. And we keep saying there is a difference between nationality and heritage. Where do you belong? Because when you travel, even with those your passports, and you show them I'm a German, and a German looks at you like, from which country? Then you say from Cameroon. And then they say, where is Cameroon? You say in Africa. So it's not just a story of color, it's a story of the image of Africa that has been degraded to zero, to a continent of hunger, poverty, slavery, everything, backwardness, no roads, poor governance, bad leadership, everything, anything, the continent of junk where they take even their, China takes his baggage, or Europe or Russia or America or Europe, everybody, they collect their waste, they dump it into the seas of Gambia, into the oceans of Zanzibar and everything. It's just like a dumping place where people, even when they don't have place to throw their trash, whether it's their clothes or whatever thing, they dump it. And you see Africans dying on the street and running to go and buy secondhand, you know, clothes when they have the best fabrics in the world. That's how we've been degraded. But who did this? The media. The media is the one that is doing all this to our people. The biased media that will never show anything positive about Africa. All they know and where they earn their money to be able to live sustainably is just by degrading Africa. Is by putting your faces on every newspaper just to report about bad things. They don't know your story. And we see a lot, women and children and the elderly are the most affected. You look at every newspaper or every magazine or everything, when they want to talk about Africa and poverty, and they want to bring the donor and their aid programs or whatever system, they show the face of a Black woman and a child. And they say, these are the ones that are so powerless. We need to help them. We need to support them, because they don't even know how to calculate their timetable of when they have to ovulate or when they can get pregnant or not. They just, you know, reproducing like popcorn machines, as if we don't know what we want. And because they're the same people that come and make you say you are poor, or I can help you because you have 10 children, and they go always to the neighborhoods, to our villages, to meet the ignorant, open-hearted, kind-hearted Africans and start, you know, programming them into, oh, you know, you're living here poor, look at your hurt, you cannot even feed your children. Oh, how do you cope with this? And like Africans who are generous and open, they start telling them their stories of like, yes, you know, and this. And if you ask a question, you would get an answer. It's a normal thing. Are you living comfortable? It's the same thing with pharmaceutical. Oh, did you have a headache yesterday? Did you have a waist pain? Oh no, I have a solution for you. Because you asked the wrong question, you get an answer, and you use that answer, you know, against its people and its identity and its culture. And the world is mute. And we talk about human rights abuses. For your information, I just graduated a course in human rights consultant as a human rights consultant certified. Okay, and I'm on the next course of immigration law certified consultant, and I'll be rounding up. So I'm not only sitting here as a host, but we're going to get really educated so that we can empower our people with tools that they can be able to understand what is their right, even to give your story to somebody. Even when somebody just asks you something, you first of all think, why is he asking me this question? So it's not just the story of Morocco not identifying as Africans. It's the whole image of African that has been molested, okay, cheated, you know, and by the same people who pretend we are Africans, we all came from Africa. They're the same people doing that. They're the same people doing that. So yes, we must move higher. We have to learn, because it's not their problem. They're like, I say what I have to say. I have a right. And that's why they say freedom of speech. But what kind of speech? If we want to look at the speeches that they've been unrolling to degrade Africa and its people, it is sad. And it's an intentional systems and people that are behind this. But the good people of the world, the good people of the world are so, whether they are black, purple, or white or green, they are for, their hearts beat for this continent, Africa, when they see these images. And you see they start pumping money into the systems in one way to support an organization or something, whether it's African owned or not. And you see everybody coming in the name now of being Pan-African, even African themselves, coming in the name of wanting to deliver, to help Africa. Nobody can help you, Africa. Only you can help yourself. Not even me sitting here. Okay? We can only empower one another. And no African and no human is indispensable to the creation of a better world and a best planet for all of us to live in peace and harmony. Okay? So yes, we are the voices. We are the voices for the new Africa, for the world. We are the voices. And if you have a contribution, you can volunteer. We're so happy to receive you. We're so happy to get in touch with you. I want to call out and find out from Eugene what his challenge out there is. Because I see the brother, the champion, struggling. He's been here more than 10. I mean, he must be really like confused, you know, when you're so anxious to be on the Pan-African Daily to share your story and your experiences, and you're not getting anybody, you're not getting access, whatever it is. So let me see if we can get Eugene while we continue the conversation. Let me know about your comments, and I'll be putting them out here. As you can see, not even the telephone is going. Thank you for your contribution, Kamisi, folks. You just donated $5 to this powerful conversation because you're aligning with the mission and the visions of the Africa we want by Africans of goodwill. Okay? So it's not just about Morocco and its culture and its policy or whatever. It is the image of Africa that has actually been degraded to a zero continent that even Africans are not proud of themselves. That's why we're coming with the Black Excellence Award on all our platforms to award you, to give you the value that you've been devalued million times into it. Okay? Yes, thank you. Let us share and like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you, Solomon. We are approaching 100,000 to get our golden plate by December 31st. And you know, as I said, today is the 10th, and normally in 2 days, we would have been celebrating Dr. Susan Tatah, 12-12 girl. But we're dedicating this celebration to our subscribers because Dr. Susan Tatah is just a face, but is followed by millions who are the ones empowering her to sit here. And you are among the million followers that are putting out your mouth and your work and your time to empower Africans worldwide, particularly those on the continent, through education of who they are, and also to help them get sustainability, create, work hard, be productive, be competitive, and like we're not going to settle for any loss in the FIFA competition. That's why we're taking the role models. Okay. When Cameroon beat Algeria, who could believe it? And they're just happy that we got the cup. For Cameroonians and West Africa, they're the champions of FIFA Cup because they beat Brazil. Okay? That's not a walk in the park. And to be honest, if Africans are serious, these are our giants, our league, our champions. If they always go for a World Cup to win and be intentional, they will win. They'll win every World Cup. But because we are creative people by nature, entertainers by nature, most African countries go to entertain, just to have fun. When they score a goal, they dance, they put the vibes there. And they go with all their cultural dances, all their entertainers, their garments, they're beautiful, because everything about us has always been entertainment and creativity. But now that we start getting intentional, the World Cup is going to find a place on the continent of Africa for so long. Trust me on the new African spirit that we're building out there. Thank you so much, Mr. Paul Brown. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Wade Nobles. Thank you. Peace and blessings. I see you're watching and you're connected. All right, so I see. Greetings and welcome, Eugene. What is happening with you out there in the Gambia? What kind of challenges are you having?
Okay. I was trying to come on, but the network issue was the issues.
Oh, we're so sorry.
Yeah. Can I still speak through the phone?
Of course, of course. You can do your contribution through the phone, and I'm going to bring your image on, okay?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So,
what is happening in your Gambia? What kind of challenges are you having?
Is it
the network is quite fluctuating, not steady at the moment.
Okay. Go ahead, but we can hear you. So if you look at the situation of Black excellence and you coming in as a correspondent and a young executive coordinator for Gambia, can you introduce yourself to the audience, your work and what you're doing, and what is the way forward?
Okay, so first of all, I want to greet everybody and thank you, Dr. Susan Tatah, for another opportunity to well, it has been quite a long. I've been working. My name is Eugene. I'm a country representative for Pan African Daily TV. Also, I'm a teacher as well, and as well as an accountant. I've been involved in so much community work engagement, especially volunteerism as well. This time, I've taken the opportunity
as usual. All right. I don't know if you could hear Eugene out there. I was hearing him perfectly in the studio. I don't know if you could hear him. Eugene had a very huge presentation to share with us today and to give us some statistics, some facts of what they've been doing in their young executive, since a year now and above. But it's just unfortunate that we can connect him. And so if we don't have the possibility, I'm going to share this week and to invite those of you that would like to join our webinar on how to become a volunteer of the Pan-African Daily. We are going to share that webinar, and so we can do it on a Zoom, which we're not going to be interrupted by these platforms. But if you're watching me from any of my platforms out there, please, if you're a journalist or you are not even a journalist, if you can speak, if you have a voice, if you can just speak, if you can talk, then you can be a journalist. I will train you. I will give you all the tips, and I will tell you how to build the Africa you want through your story. Okay. So yes, send us an email. You can see it here, panafricandailytv@gmail.com, on any platforms that you're watching us from. And if you send us that, and you have groups, you have WhatsApp groups, you have Telegram groups, you have, all sort of groups in your platforms, whether it's TikTok or that, please cut exactly this particular image. I'm really actually giving you the opportunity or the permission to chop off this space that I'm giving you now, and you can run them on your reel or your TikTok. Okay, no sound. All right, so this is crazy now. Good. Oh, no. Kajo, you're saying no sound. Do you get my sound or not? If you don't have a sound, please just let me know. Can you hear me? Okay, thank you. Thank you, Heru Imhotep. So yes, like we say, we are recruiting. When we talk about recruiting the 1 million subscribers on Pan-African Daily, we're going to beat that. We're not just getting subscribers on the Pan-African Daily. We are building a soldier, a whole champions to lead the voices of Africans into the future. And so we're going to train you. We're going to give you the equipment. We're going to give you the resources that you need to build the Africa that you want, to tell your story, to report about stories in your community, to tell the good story of Africa, isn't it? So please share this conversation with everybody that is interested, with every African. And let me tell you, the biggest part of the sugar game here is not just volunteering. Okay, and this is what Eugene actually had prepared a presentation, and I'm so sorry that it's not possible for us to have him, but we're going to, like I said, if you would mail us and say you want to be a volunteer, just put volunteering. I already have a couple of emails. We have so many, thousands of them. But during this period, we had to select a lot because not every volunteer is coming actually to build the Africa that they want. We all know who we are. But we know what it is. That's why we're starting with volunteering. But by the time you get a certificate from our academy to be able to report, to represent us, we give you the equipment, the resources, and everything, and you sign an MOU with us, and then you can represent the Pan-African Daily. By the time you'll be wearing on the T-shirt, this T-shirt that you see, yeah, were a part of this story that I'm telling you. For the past couple of times, you see how our streams are buffering, they've been chopped up, or they're not even connecting. I'm only streaming from 2 destinations today because all the other destinations will not connect. They won't grant us access. And we call it a technical failure or internet or whatever. But I can guarantee you that we know where all this is coming from. We understand that our network system in Africa is really, really poor. The technological systems that we're operating on, some people are out of gadget, and sometimes just the weather as well. In some countries, it's raining, like here, it's actually winter, it's snowing, you know, and all these things affect the internet. Even though some people told us, you know, America has the biggest and the most strongest internet network, but what I'm experiencing here, no, it's not true. In some places, particularly our studios are in the basement, it's really, really slow. It's choppy. Okay. But yes, that's why we're doing a production. Everything we're doing now is a production. And this video is going to be here. If you look at the video that we produced with Queen Rachel, you know, our Israelite sister, you can see how that video is performing and every other video that we're doing. Okay. So yes, it is really, really crazy. It's not your fault. It's not our fault. It's not the fault of Eugene. It has been happening for the past days. Even yesterday with Sister Felicia, you could see that we were thrown out of it, and we don't want to blame anything. We just want to blame the system. I mean, the system, the time which we're living in now. There's a lot of inflation going around, and we don't know how we even use these clouds and everything, how they came to supply to us. So yes, the whole world is not doing well, and so do internet and all the waves that we're using. So don't always think everything has to do with magic or someone is not liking you African because you're showing your African nose like mine here. No, it's normal that internet can be slow, and it's just normal. I realize most of our platforms are not being connected. Why? Because we have a huge, huge following. As a matter of fact, Pan African Daily should not be on YouTube as a production. YouTube should only be a sourcing and outsourcing, but not the main satellite. And so that's why we are getting to real work, serious work, professional work to get our satellite in the next coming years. All right. So we need you as volunteers. Eugene. Okay. Is it better now? Can you people hear Eugene there? But there's too much noise in your background, Eugene. I hear you, but you need to turn off the device on which you're watching us because we hear me and hear you. we are so motivated after doing this almost 1.5 years of research to find out how they react, what are the expectations of the volunteers, what actually do they put their focus on, what do they expect to see, how committed are they. Attention to the fact that our mindset have been distorted. And when we talk about education, most of the time, when we're talking about developing and creating the Africa we want, sometimes it's good, just that we have the feeling that we need to unite. But most of the time, when you look at the work that we have in the background, you know, to actually decolonize and patch out all the system, that's why Maponga Joshua is talking about a 400 years plan. And we heard even Professor Kameni Kaba said it, it's a 200 years plan. All the visionaries of Pan-African are saying it, because it's not just the will for us to unite and to connect and to love and to dance and to celebrate and to wear our cultural garments. It is more about a mind that took generations to be where they are. So imagine even the children that we get pregnant with, if the mother is not conscious, if it's not Black conscious, to begin to speak even at that, as she's nurturing that child in her stomach, to begin to encourage. If the mother is still doing all this kind of crazy misinformation thing, of course, that's what she's going to produce. And that's already a generation that will come out to become another generation. So you can imagine, we have so much work to do. And so creating a media platform that is an educational forum that is bringing solutions to our own challenges, that is creating a new narrative, a new education, a new mindset. You first of all have to look which one is right, which one is not right. How do we even understand ourselves, even when we go on these webinars and these sessions? You remember you're talking to someone, but they thinking something else. Okay, so it is hard. We need to be committed. That is why we're really going through the strategy of volunteering. I don't know how much I can explain this because we're on a live production, but I would like to do this on the Pan-African Daily TV Academy for the volunteers that want to know. Because if you want to know, you come freely, because you volunteer, you want to know something. When you're being taught, you would pick it as fast as possible. The biggest people, or the people that change this in this brain drain or brain miseducation system, are people that come freely. And when you come freely, anything they tell you, you just pick it up. But if you already come with an expectation, and I keep giving the example, if you look at Germany, Germany has a system that they call a social year. When you graduate from your high school, you're going into university, every German must have a free year to sacrifice in a social environment, whether it's in Germany or out of Germany. Why did Germans actually create that system? Because if you don't come voluntarily and willing to do something, and most of these systems or these places where they do it are really in the social environment, like in the in the hospitals, or in the elderly homes, or in environment, any topic, or even in being in the military. It is compulsory. The government has made it, the system has made it mandatory. And also because the time of volunteering is serving money into an economy, because that's already a job that somebody would have been doing and get paid. But that's how the economy generates its own funding, by people who can say, I want to build German. I am a German, I'm proud. So I can also sacrifice and put something aside. And it's not every bad thing that we don't see everything bad. We look at developed countries, we also copy their model of development, and then we adapt it to our own. Why am I citing or quoting the example of Germany? Because that's how Germany actually had to build its economy into one of the powerful economy, and even to unite the Western East German through the Berlin Bridge, the bridge, even the bridge that had to separate them for years. Why? And what did it come when they say, now this is a true German? A true German was only being attached to your identity, even to how you look like. That was how they could assess and say, this is a true German. We can trust you because you volunteered. It means you can die for your continent, for your country. You can be able to take the country to the next step. Volunteerism is not even a topic in the African community, talk less of even implementation. And economies that have built the system of volunteerism have actually realized it is a passion, like Eugene is saying. If you don't have the passion and you have only the will, like if I do this, I must be paid, it is unfortunate we will never build the Africa because we need so much money. And we keep saying it, he who funds you owns you. So one of our strategies of going through the volunteerism to build the Africa and the Pan-African Daily TV is because, first of all, we are a non-profit. And non-profits go by volunteering because nobody owns a non-profit. I don't own it. The board members don't own it. It is for the country and its citizens. That's what a non-profit is. Okay? And so nobody is going to say, it's not an investment bank. It's not a cooperative. A non-profit is a passionate group of people that want to bring change, that want to take their community or their lives to the next level. And so you volunteer. For instance, if you want to even improve your life, your health, your way of life, or your family, all these counselings and stuff that we see, these are all educational tools. And if you go to most of these things, you get like maybe food stamps or stuff. Why do you think that the government invests a lot to give these counselings for free? And you just go there and you think that, oh, I'm just lucky that I went and I get a counselor. I had a ticket from the government to do it. No, because this is healing. It is an institution of healing to build. So while we come here on the Pan-African, we talk about our healing. We talk about how we want to build a community. We want to build the Africa that we want. We need to heal. You have to understand there are tools to healing. Healing is not just a word. And I will repeat and repeat and repeat here all the time. Love is a word, but love has tools behind it to show that word. Unity is a word, but unity has tools behind it to show the unity of a people. Building the Africa we want is just a word, but what are the tools and the instrument that we need? We need young people. We need to, first of all, decolonize their minds so that they can even start knowing who they are. They can love Africa. And secondly, they can be able to sacrifice. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people are like, why only young people? Of course, because it's your future. If we look at the leadership, not only in Africa, even the world. That's why most politicians, when they make decisions and they are old, they don't care. Because tomorrow they know they're gone. But you, the youth, is why we focus on the youth. Because you still have a long time to be here. We are all in our middle ages. We are all on the draining line of going down. But you are climbing the ladder. if you don't build and make a change and invest and volunteer, sorry, to build the Africa that you want to see. So you have about 60, 90, 100, 150 years. And you are not only creating that for yourself, but you're also bringing a generation that would inherit. So what are we doing? That's why when we see the systems really don't focus too much on the elder, not because they are not useful, but it's just because they see that their time is up. And so elders will not actually, if they are egocentric, elders that are leaders that are corrupt, they don't care about the young generation. And you see the reason why our economies have been broke. If it's about leadership or corruption or bad governance, look at the leaders that we're having. Do you think they care about, oh, what the future will look like? That's why we Africans are so we are really vexed when the African Union is talking about Agenda 2063. Because you already look at people that are in their middle ages, they're like, why should I even focus or even read that? 2063, in the next 5-10 years, I'm gone. I'm dead. If we look at the life expectancy. So it is you young people that have to sacrifice, that have to put your money. I mean, when I say put your money, your time, to build the Africa you want to see for you and for your generation. We are here to give you the tools. We are here, the awoke generation, to push you further, to share our experience, our skills in whatever we know. But you're the owners. You're not going to see us here even in the net. We don't even know how long. So take up the responsibility. Subscribe to Pan-African Daily TV. Join the Young Executive Trainings and Volunteering. And tomorrow you will not regret it. You will be a founder. You will be a CEO. You will be a boss. You'll be a news broadcaster. You would be an Oprah of the continent. You would be a Steve Harvey of the continent, even though those are every example I'm saying, don't take me for seriousness or some other things. But I'm just saying the faces that most of you are following and say, oh, they're doing some kind of big things out there. You can do it. You can do it. I never went to any journalism school to study journalism, but all the things I'm doing here is journalism. And I will teach you, and I will give you the tools how to become the best journalist, to report your story by yourself, and to create the Africa that you want and be proud of it. So imagine if I started doing this at the age of 30, at the age of 20 or 18. Do you know what we would have been now? So imagine we want to give you that route in the secret of what we know, that we are all thinking, oh, had I known, if I had known, if I had known, oh, if I was still young. No, we are still young because you can give it to the young generation. Don't be self-centered and selfish. We have to empower our youth. If we had failed because we didn't have a chance, if every African, you look at our population, look at our spending, you look at our money, you look at what we have, look at how we position ourselves. Honestly speaking, if we want to build the Africa, we need to invest in the youth of Africa. When I talk about the youth, we need to invest in the children, the babies that are even still in the wombs of their mother. That's why the young mothers are so important. And when our children are marrying, or you are marrying the younger wives, and they are not conscious, and you are producing the same fruit of a generation that is miseducated. So how long are we going to actually detoxicate Africa when we keep facilitating the same thing? When we are in the 21st century, we are still not even conscious. Our brains are still miseducated. We don't even know who we are. We are still ashamed of ourselves. We go about bleaching ourselves because we don't want to identify with blackness, with melanin. We destroy everything that is our own because of the brain damage in our heads. If we are still not even conscious in this point in the 21st century, what generation and future are we building? What if we cannot even click a like and share? We have to be pampered, we have to be begged, we have to be lobbied to contribute, to share a post, to subscribe. I'm not being ungrateful that we're doing it, but I'm still not satisfied because we're not there. We're still not seeing our children being luxuriously treated. We're still not seeing our people being honored and respected for who they are. We're still not seeing our traditions and our systems being in the right position of the place. We're still not seeing our Swahili language being institutional upon the continent. No. So why should I be contented with just the little drops? Because that's who we are. When we do some small things, when we go to Qatar and win in Brazil, we dance over the whole continent and make noise everywhere. Oh, we are winners and this and that. But Brazil did not even go to win a match. They went to win a World Cup. That's how serious people take life, people. The Cameroonian team wins the Brazilian team, and all Cameroonians are like, oh, we are the best, we had the cup, and this and that. Because we're still living in a poverty mindset and an inferiority mindset. Did Brazil come out to play a Cameroonian match? No, they came out to win the World Cup. Exactly, that's what Morocco is doing, being intentional. I want to win. I'm not settling for less. I'm not coming and going out and I'll be happy, at least I did this. That's how Europeans mindset and Africans that are intentional are conscious. We are not settling for less. We don't have we don't want a half continent. We don't have a, oh, I'm trying. We're not satisfied. 80,000 subscribers, yes, that's good, but it's not better. It's not best. How many millions of us are watching? How many views? How much does it take us to click a subscription for free? It's the same thing. Like you see Africans complaining, oh, we don't follow objectives, we don't do this, we don't support initiatives. Because even just to click a post and share, an African feels so privileged to support, because the thing that they click and share, you're going to make some money and some people will see you. But those are the kind of damage that our brains have put us through against each other. It is not your fault. It's not even my own fault. It is the fault of the colonizers who made us hate ourselves. And those are the people that we must build alternative systems to be able to learn from how they colonized us to decolonize ourselves. Is it that difficult? Have you seen, even you see institutions giving grants to support African initiatives to grow up and to level up in the society? Technological knowledge, knowledge of science. Google has given you a platform for free. You can ask everything. YouTube, you can learn everything. You just need to put how to do this, how to bake, how to bake. Oh my God, how to laugh. TikTok is doing the same thing. Reel is doing the same thing. You see African dancing, showing all, everything. The whole thing is black. It's true. But how black is our mind? How black is our continent? That's what we are for. When we relocate and we die and we go away, what are they going to say about us? Bob Marley is saying all the time, we dance to one love, Africa unite, you know, to every, he's alive forever and ever because he left a footprint. We listen to the words of our great ancestors, the Marcus Garvey, the Kwame Nkrumahs. They made their mistakes, yes, but they leave a legacy on which today we can even profile. Did you hear the news of the Queen? I'm still looking for a correspondence from Tanzania. That Queen, the leadership of Tanzania, Her Excellency Samia Suluhu, I salute her. Please, dear Tanzanians that are following me, and I know you're my huge fans, tell her that I say Dr. Susan Tatah says we salute her and that's the Africa we want. She canceled a whole independence celebration. Not canceling that they don't manifest, she relocated the budget to building dormitories for girl dormitories and to support women. How much more can the continent bless us with such kind of leadership? Vote women and vote all these men out. We know how to take care of them. We know how to take care of the needs of the community. So the young people must climb up and take responsibilities. You need political education like never before. So when we're talking about a culture of that the whole world has opened up its borders to the African, you need to learn as fast as possible. So the Pan-African Daily TV Academy, we're not only going to be giving you certification on just how to be a journalist, but even how to be a politician. Did I not just tell you that I'm a human rights consultant certified now? Because I want to give that knowledge to you to be able to know what your rights are. The right for you to be a politician. Now we just have the youngest mayor in Arkansas City in the United States. He's a black young guy, 18, a son. If we were giving birth at an early age, Cheryl Matamera, that would have been a grandson, not even a son. Okay? If we follow the patterns of our mothers and not go to some kind of like, oh, I want to make a career before I give birth, and we started producing, because when we ovulate, we are already mothers. And you can imagine whether it's at the age of 9 or 10 or 11. This son would have been our grand or great-grand. Fact. So why do we always think our children have to be 30, 40? Our men, our women start developing at the age of 55, 60. Start developing in their brain to know what is right and what is wrong. Studies have shown, and they are black studies. I'm not saying it from just ba. Black studies and researchers. That's why I work only with professionals, because I mind, when I drink water and mind my African business, I'm talking about facts that could be verified. They come out with studies that the African man only develops at the age of 55. Start to develop in the brain means start to even understand who they are and to make good decisions. Same as the woman. And that's why you see other systems have already gone up to say at the age of 18, you're already developed, because they put those instruments to take you up to that age. At the age of 18, you can already marry and have a family and have a job, and you are already not a child anymore. You're not a minority. In our communities at the age of 40, 50, we're still living under our parents. And we say, yes, it's because it's a compound, it's a family. It has nothing to do with us being in a circle of ourselves and development. These are two different things. We need young politicians in every country. And we keep, oh no, our leaders will not give us the opportunity. No, you didn't even learn the game of politics. You didn't even know it. Because some of our really die-hearted Pan-African leaders, they know they give it to you with your ignorance. You're going to sell the continent for free, particularly our lifestyle now. If you see the way youths of Africa and our continent, the way we are rolling and we are revolving are going through their journalism results, and what I saw from the curriculum is just to swallow the stuff and then vomit it in a test, and then you get a certificate and you go around saying you're a journalist. When I gave them just 2-3 assignments and questionnaires to answer, nobody came out with any result, because exactly it was out of context. But these are Africans that are studying journalism and looking for jobs on different Western media, who would give them money, and they would tell the story from their own perspective, even though he's a journalist sitting on that board and reporting about Africa. He'll be reporting it on the perspective of the European or the Western media or other medias that want to just make money and sustain their government and report their stories from the way they want it. It's a fact. Is it new what we're saying? But it's because of you that don't want to take the responsibility. And if somebody does, and you cry every day, oh, I don't have a job, and everybody wants to leave, do you blame the youth? Do you blame the people? Everybody wants to leave. If we cannot create institutions that are sustainable, that can transform into creating millions of jobs for our people, we are a failure in our generation. No matter how we proclaim our greatness and our excellence, if we are not creating sustainable infrastructures that would give Africans the ability to create jobs for themselves, we are a failed generation. I don't care whether you say you're who, you're a CEO, you're a boss, you're this, you're this, you're this, you're rolling in Maserati, you're wearing this, you are profiling or as an influencer, what, it doesn't matter. If you are not able to impact your community, the Black community, the African community where you are, if you don't have a long eye into the future, what you are building today, that the youth will take it and go with. If you're selfish and egocentric and thinking, why should I even have to do that, because after all tomorrow I'll die, we would have not have been in these developmental countries trying to chop from their sweat. You like you say they went and took your resources. You like you say anything. If we are not intelligent enough to also get that intelligence that I'm here and I've learned something to develop my own people. And when people ask you in these countries that we are all suffocating in, what are you doing here with all the knowledge that you have? Why don't you go and empower your own people? What are you Africans doing here? And then we become aggressive and say, no, it's because they are racist. It's because, oh, they don't like us. It's because they're always using excuses. Oh, it's because I'm Black. No, it's because we're just running away from our responsibilities. It's because we are ashamed to be called Africans. It's because we are inferior. And it's also because we don't even know where to start. But is it late? Am I saying it's late? Are we saying it's too late? No. Ain't we saying it's the opportunity? Ain't we saying it's our time? Ain't we saying we have to start now than do nothing? Ain't we saying instead of us complaining, let us start by doing something? Ain't we saying that? I had an invitation, like I told you, to report on the US Africa Summit that is coming up. Oh yes, I looked at it. It was a nice summit, very nice. A lot of side events going on, and I have free accommodation, free everything to be on that summit. And then I sat behind through my meditation, and I asked myself, what for? What is that going to help the African in the village to put food on her table? How is that going to support any marginalized African by me going to Washington, putting myself in front of camera, making interviews with people that have no love and no clue and no concern about the dying majority of the African? So sometimes we need to be strategic and be intentional So am I just going there to be in front of the camera or interview some presidents or some key or some members of parliament, give them even visibility and exposure, and then come here back and be telling you, oh, I reported on this, and so what? We need to hold each other accountable. We said it. All of us that are making this mouth on the social media space about the Africa we want, about how we are Pan-African and this, hold us accountable. What are you doing? We are supporting, we are contributing. What are you doing? But we trust ourselves. Yes, it's a good thing. Accountability. You know, Gemma say it all the time. Gemma say it all the time. Trust is good, but control is better. Trust is good, but control is better. So we have to drink water and mind our African business, yes. And some of us, when we sit here and we ask questions, where's our satellite? You ask yourself, have you been contributing? Have you been volunteering? Have you been sharing? Have you been subscribing? Volunteering at this little time means just share and recruit subscribers. What does Dr. Tatah wants to do and the Pan-African Global Family want to do with this number of subscription? That should be the next question. If I get a link, somebody tell me, subscribe to my channel. I first of all go and read what are the objectives of this channel. How is it going to help me by being a subscriber? Yes, of course, I look and I say we support each other and that. But what are we doing? What is the Pan-African Daily TV doing to impact change in the community and to each and every one of us? You think we just have to come here, do our beautiful raps, put our lipstick and impress? We are failures. And until we begin to accept the fact that we have failed, we will not even be able to learn. Yes, we can question, we can criticize, we can vex about the colonial and the slavers or whatever, but we have to do something about it. You have to bring the change that you want to see. Morocco went to win a World Cup. Let me tell you, that's how intentional. It's not about the color, about what they think about you. It's about the intention. I'm going to get the cup. I'm not just going. And if I bring the cup and I celebrate it as an African cup, so if you like to say I don't celebrate it because I'm from North or South or because I'm Arab or Muslim, that's your business. But I went to win a cup. And it's going to go down in the history of Africa that Morocco won the FIFA World Cup in Qatar 2022. History. And you begin to see how nations want to do business with Morocco. And you begin to see how Moroccans would be empowered just by knowing that they are champions. And you begin to see how it elevates the potential, the image. Even when Moroccans would go in spaces that they never, and you see the others would, they give you respect because of your achievement, not just because you come around sorrowing, complaining, weeping, mourning, backstabbing each other. You're not going to get a ticket or an award or anything for that. And you will still leave the space here and never be remembered and forgotten like you never existed in your generation here. And that's why you ask yourself a fundamental question. What am I here for? What is my purpose? What is my responsibility? When I drink water and mind my African business, what does that mean? Have I brought pride? Have I been able to impact one another? Or I just amass wealth? That's why I say don't be jealous of people that are corrupt. Why are you jealous about them? Don't be jealous about people that say we are millionaires or billionaires and they cannot even contribute to make an impact in the lives of one soul or one another. Oh, I just built plots, I bought my houses. Nobody is against that. That's for you. Did you come in the universe, in a global family, just for you? Those are the questions you ask. Those are the questions we ask. So my dear beloved family, a win for Morocco, yes. is a win. A win for Morocco, yes, it's a win. It's an elevation. It's a drop in the ocean. But I'm telling you, Morocco is going to win that World Cup. And the face of the Moroccan Africans would be another face. Their business will be open. It is security. It is opportunities. It is business. And then you look at Qatar, you think Qatar just decided to host and pay 150 million to host a World Cup. Something that Germany, I think they had 2 million. And then, which was the other nation again, Brazil, that even came up with 100 million or 100,000, what are the figures I call it? But look at the figures that Qatar invested to host a World Cup, a FIFA World Cup. It is quadruple, I think it's 15 times to beat the others that have hosted. Why? Do we just go and just celebrate and just talk about a win? Why? And what is Qatar? An upcoming economy benefiting from giving free ride to everyone that will come to watch a World Cup. Are they stupid? Are they dumb? On every street in Qatar is a branding about FIFA. They give you free ride. Everybody that went there, from bus transportation to everywhere, is free. And because of that, Africans and even superstars, Black American, our sibling stars, were in Qatar. Did you think Qatar invited them, paid for them to come? Just to come and see their beautiful pearl cities. And you go to some hotels, you know, all their toilets are gold, plated on gold from floor to all the ceilings. Did you think Qatar was stupid to do that? Africa? They sold Qatar at a price that is unbuyable to the world. That's what branding does. That's what media does. That's what power does. So when we are talking about having a seat at the United Nations Security, when we are talking on putting our voices, being at the table to negotiate, and we cannot even start by volunteering to brand you as an African, it's going to take us a damn while. And so we can really weep while we're drinking our water and say, we have failed. Like King Maponga said, and he's coming live tomorrow with the 7th edition of Yeshua, the Gospel according to Yeshua Maponga. Joshua said, what if we just say, I know nothing today, and I start to learn? What if I just say, I am in darkness today, and let there be light? What is that light? Creation. I've just created in the dark. Now I excel. I expose it into the light of the day. What if all of us just say we knew nothing? Now we want to create the Africa that we want. It's a small nation. But another thing, why we admire some of these countries, we have to talk about the indecency and the nature in those countries. So when we are talking about development, for us as Africans, development is not just beautiful cities made of pearl. Development is, how do people treat each other? How do we treat people who come to us? How do we accommodate people, humans? How do we treat our environment? But yes, environment is a natural thing, but I'm just saying, how do we treat each other? So some of these countries have nothing to teach us, just in terms. That's why they put a lot of money to brand, to just show the bling, 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 bling. But at the end of the tunnel, it is a mess. Okay? And that's the fault of the African. If you want to call it a fault, I call it the best. You can say we were stupid. You can say our forefathers were stupid. They were ignorant. They were primitive. That they let and they opened their arms, you know, to the colonizers, to the enslavers, to come into our communities. but we call it hospitality, generosity, love and respect for our humans, for our counterparts. And that is a value nobody should take away from you, African. Our streets may not be beautiful. Our hearts are warm. Our doors are open. We are accommodative. We are friendly. And they know it. So any person that thinks you are stupid as an African because you're generous, because you're accommodating, because you're hospitable, and they take advantage of you, and they rape you and your children and your daughters, and they steal your minerals, and they think it's because you're underdeveloped, you're a fool, you're not worth anything. These are people you need to pity them. You need to teach them what life and civilization is about. You need to create a lot of platforms, educational system, teach them to be humans. That is the work of humanity. Because those I will never, for whatever reason, envy a corrupt leader. For what? I would never want to be like them. And these are the teachings that we teach at Pan-African Daily TV Academy. How to be, to live a life in abundance, where you have respect for one another, where you're proud of who you are. Whether you're eating just a little and drinking your water with your family, but you are producing a whole environment of good vibration, do not regret it. Don't call yourself stupid. Don't think you are foolish. Don't think you are poor. You are the richest person ever. And that's why you see our ancestors, our parents, our ancestral, our Ubuntu-ness teaches us that you are only rich when you have people that you bless in your life. That is what riches is all about. That's the African philosophy and definition of wealth. Where did you ever hear your father, your mother, your grandmother told you that you need to bring him or her baggages and money so that he can recognize you? We will be having these conversations and this debate. Where on earth has an African child been given the legacy? We hear about Dr. Leonard Jeffersons and the Jeffersons, because I will be doing special sessions on the guests that we've been having here, analyzing them and telling you why some people are the chosen people and some not. It is even not a problem if you're not chosen, because the chosen are giving the responsibility that you better maybe are happy not being chosen. The awakened and the awoke generation have a responsibility, and they feel guilty all the time when they don't do the right thing, because they've been given the knowledge of a discerning knowledge. And if you don't produce exactly that, you are lost and you feel guilty and you'll be punished for that. So sometimes it's okay when you don't know. It's very okay when you don't know too much, when you are not awoke. And so you because you only would be guilty for what you know. If you plan, as you will be guilty all your life because you took time and planned it. That's what the Bible is talking about, the sins. But if you did not just know and you did something by accident, even you yourself, you find peace in your life. But if you took your time, manipulated it, created it, no matter how you go around with a straight face, like you don't bother, like you don't worry, I bet you, nobody is even interested in knowing how you feel. But you alone and you yourself know what you feel. Because you can never lie to yourself. You can never lie to the man in the mirror. When you look in the mirror, you see your own self, your own God. You cannot lie to yourself because you are the God that you see. And so it's very important when we're doing these sessions, when we say the Pan-African Daily TV is a medium, we're not coming here to sell and buy. It's not a marketplace. It's not a buy and seller. We're not coming here for palaver. If even if we have our palaver, we're going to settle it in this, in Southern Cameroon, we call it the Ngumba house. This is our Ngumba house. This is our Juju house. It's our voodoo house. This is our kingdom. This is our palace where we come here and we settle our things. And like I told you, make a commitment, even make a vow in this community and not stand to it in the palace. You see what is going to happen to you and your whole descendants. So we are conscious. We know who we are. And I heard a lot of comments and feedback from the followers, and they're so right. Dr. Tatah, you always talk as if everything is just perfect. Dr. Tatah, you are always talking about Africa as if Africa is just good, as if we don't have problems, as if we are not backbiting, as if we are not cheating each other, as if we are not killing each other, as if we are not betraying. All the evil things of Africa, Dr. Tatah, you sweep it around under the carpet and you talk only the good things of Africa. Does it really mean that we, these Africans, are saints? Isn't it necessary that when we begin to call out our own mistakes that we do for each other, that's how we grow? I've had all that feedback. And I say, yes, you are so damn right. But that's why we are empowering. If we were just perfect, I never would sit here. People, I will be dancing. I love dance. To be honest, I love singing. I love dancing. I'm an artist, a creative artist. That's why anything that is boring, you never would see me there. Okay? I love good vibes. So if Africa was what we wanted, why would I be spending my 3 hours here with you? I've been dancing and eating us fufu corn with Cheryl and Sinovia and Ernest Parker will be drinking our water, and Kwame and Kojo. Do you think we have just nothing to do to enjoy ourselves than to sit here? No. It's just because we have not had that privilege. We have everything that is working against us, even the world. Friends of Africa and enemies of Africa, and all of us come in all colors, black, white, purple, green, whatever. There's an energy that has been put against these chosen children. The church calls it the demons, the satanic, the evil spirit, or whatever. And all of us have both. All of us. It just depends which side you water, which one you choose to serve. If I want to be a blah blah, just an influencer because I want people to comment on my picture and say, oh, you're beautiful, oh, I like your attire, I love your lipstick, and then I go around happy and say I'm an influencer. That's the side I've chosen, and I'm going to be accountable for. Or I'm serious and intentional about what I want to do. Do I just say we want to raise a 20,000 funding for our young executive and professionals with 300 that we want to train and put them in all the 144 countries that we're existing in? And then you donate that money, and before you know it, Dr. Tatah is becoming something else, a Hollywood supermodel on red carpet and creating reels and showing all kind of attires and dancing. Is that what you want? So it depends on what I want. If I want to be the other intentional and I lie to my people and I think that I'm doing it and you're even happy about it, woe betide to you. Then you have a reckoning with your ancestors, to be honest with you. So you cannot lie to yourself. Okay? And so we want to see a lot of you volunteering, like Sharon, like Ernest, like Kwame, like Kofi, like Paul Brown, like every Mr. Brown, like all of us, you that are already volunteering, like Sylvia, okay, like Sinovia, like Ngola, all of us that I see in the chat, you that are watching me from the continent, in the diaspora, the 82, 83,000 subscribers, all of us are volunteering. But you, one that is left out there, that is not doing it, it's your time to be a part. It is your time to be a part of this privilege to serve your people with no fear, with no apologies, to take up and volunteer. I have volunteered for 30 years of my life. Do you want me to calculate my investment on my volunteers and I put it here? It's unpayable. But I love it. I'm not complaining. And I will volunteer till I die. And I love doing it. When you smile, that's my riches. When you are empowered, that's my riches. Because I'm the richest woman on the universe. 80,000 subscribers. Show me yours. And let us know who is more rich. Million followers. Who is more rich? All names that I have, Queen Mother, titles upon titles. I don't even know where my kingdom and my palace is. And you tell me I'm poor? And you African, you think you are poor? No. Brother Ernest Parker is here. He's a teacher and he never been paid. And he doesn't even want the payment. Is he poor? Mr. Paul Brown traveled to the continent to see his and to discover his ancestral roots. And he is buying land to empower, to build schools in that community, to create jobs for young people. Is he poor? Is he complaining? Has he been asking for your donations and support? We've been volunteering all our lives. My family and I, my children, my husband. We have never asked for support. For 30 years, we put billions in the Africa Festival Tubingen, volunteering. And we have not complained. We're happy doing it. So that's where the riches are. When you're passionate about something you do for free. Because I asked you, and I asked you a couple of times, if you would be asked an amount to be paid, being African on this race, in this continent, with your community and everything, if they will ask you, how much can I pay you? Can you give a price? For just being an African? For being a part of the creation? Can you be? All of you that are putting your mouth out here and talking about the evil systems that are killing our people, talking about the bad governance and the need for good governance on the continent of Africa, talking about those that are raping and reaping our resources, you are volunteering. This is the job that people apply as politicians to go and be lying all the time, and they get salaries. Are they happy? Does that make them the most successful? Even when they lie and you give them your vote, does that make them the most important people in the universe? So we need to know where our riches are, where they come from, what makes you rich. You need to understand what makes you happy. A lot of people get happy because they cannot put an amount on them. No amount of money is equivalent to pay you. That's why they sacrifice and do volunteering. If I look at my standard, I look at my level, I look at my intelligence, I look at my beauty, I look at my laughter, I look at my dancing, I look at my vibration. No amount of money can pay me to put me a job on that. I bet you. That's why I volunteer. I do it for free. Because that's the biggest amount of compensation I can get. I make you laugh. I make you even vex. I make you cry. It's also an emotion. Connecting with you. No amount of money can pay you for doing the right thing for the love of humanity and other people. We don't need certifications and awards and tax. Whether it's United Nations giving you a world certificate for being the voice of the world, you don't need it. They're going to put a tax on you, put a million funding on you, and then using you for your being influential, and then you to sell out your people. They're going to use you to penetrate into the leaderships, into your countries, even your villages, in the names of what, and for you to be a sellout for your people. That's how much they buy you. So be aware of awards. Be aware of certificates. Be aware of, oh, I want this. Ask the reason why they give you. Because the God that created you have awarded and has rewarded you. And he's not asking for a competition, for a compensation. The Most High, the God of your ancestors have chosen you and put you into that place. What do you need recognition for? From another human being? What for? I love all of you that celebrate me, to be honest. It makes me happy when I see the comments that you write about me, even just like how you're writing now. I love it. I like it, to be honest. It makes you feel, that's the ego. You impact the ego in me. But whether you write it or you don't write it, or something like, I'm gonna still be here doing what I'm doing. And if it's one person watching me, one, and that one person makes a lot of sense to them, I will be here and I'll be doing the same thing. So be a volunteer. You will never regret it. You are the richest person. Not because you want to show that you are more good than every other person, but it's because you're just fulfilling your passion in creating a world a better place. That's the best thing in life. That's the joy of the universe. No amount of salary can pay you for that. Okay? So look into yourself and volunteer for Pan-African Daily TV. And you would be honored by your ancestors for speaking their story to humanity. And you're going to be creating the universe again and making it a better place. Even if we go and we have sessions with the United Nations assemblies, I'm still going to tell them the same thing I'm telling you. I would tell them the only reason they are still unsatisfied thinking that they want to change the world is just because they're not doing it themselves. If they were doing it, we would not have any parliament to go and be begging people to do that. What for? And particularly when they take it as a job. When they take it as a job, that's how ridiculous passion can be. But of course, when we impact, that is it. I don't even want to see my burial with a lot of people. For what? I've told my sons and my family and my well wishes, the day you hear Dr. says the Tatah is no more, please dance and put on the best robes that you can. Drink water and mind your African business. Okay? Don't even bother what they do with me, whether they're going to throw me in the ocean. Definitely, that's where, because, I'm a 12 God. Probably, I don't know which, I don't believe in any zodiacs or whatever, but my ancestors will just know how to take me. The most important thing, I have to go to Earth. I have to go to one of these dimensions, whether it's water, it's air, or light, or whatever. The only thing you need to do is celebrate. Because I'm not gone. You are always going to watch me on Pan-African Daily TV. And we'll be having these conversations and laughter. It is just the physical that maybe would be gone. But I'm here forever. I have put my legacy and my voice and those of the journey of my children's children and my family and my name and everything. And you are seeing it today, and you will see it forever for generations to come. So what are you waiting for? To create that place where you always would be remembered. Who tell you you're not ever going to see me? You can never. Today we listen to Michael Jackson forever. We listen to Bob Marley forever. That's him. And they're always going to be here. So what is it that you're doing when you are not creating that memory for the future? So when you die, you just forgotten. That's what the Bible is saying. What will you be remembered for? Because you die, nobody will even remember you. We know a lot of good, big, so many people. And that's what evil does. When you create a legacy of evil, that legacy will be forgotten. It will only be remembered because of possession. Oh, he had land there, he had a car there, he had a story building, he had a big mansion there. And that's all. That's what will be seen and remembered of you. But remember, all those things are ruins. Haven't we seen palaces, governments that stole money, and they are all in ruins? Because material are ruins, but the spirit lives on and on from generation to generation. I told all of you, my followers, you're the most blessed. I told my children, you're the most blessed. My family, you're the most blessed. Because of what we are laying down, you will be remembered from generation to generation. We have put our feet on the global space, and we are the footprints that would showcase that we were here. So what are you waiting for? Send us an email at panafricandailytv@gmail.com. I will transform your passion into your vision for a legacy, not only for Africa, but for humanity. And you will sit back, even when you are gone, your great-great-great-grandchildren will sit behind and they watch you in a movie. And they will bring their children's children to kiss you on the screen. Grandma F1 Tatah, aka Dr. Susan Tatah, we love you. That's what they'll be telling me. And of course, because I'm there. So what are you leaving that these generations will remember you? Apart from that you die, oh, they make a beautiful coffin, they dance and they show Ashwabi and they televise you and they say, this is how we were. And before you even decaying, like the King Maponga was saying, for the ants to take you again and refurbish you, they have even forgotten that you existed because they're no memories. Our ancestors gave us the memories. So please, people, I know I'm taking a lot of your time, but who knows? It is better. In as much as you're still watching me here, you're not tired, you're not going, you're not giving up. We're still here. We worked over time, exactly. And as Parker said, God is busy, and Jesus worked over time. Of course. Imagine creating the universe every day. I mean, if you imagine a character like Jesus, people praying and praying and praying every day, they bring all their burdens to you. What the heck? Every day, the ones that are bringing complaints, the ones that are bringing everything, and they go and belabor Jesus. I bring these billions of people coming every day. So God is busy creating. And you that you are the God, what are you busy doing? What are you busy doing in the night? You have to be walking onto, and you know when your ancestors want you to put you to rest, whether you stand in the middle of the rain, you're going to sleep, isn't it? When they put you on sleep. So, but when you are not on that space, what are you doing? This, you're so crazy. If Jesus was going to kill me, I gave him plenty of opportunities because he brought everything to him. So he had the right to even condemn, judge you, kill you at every moment. When you go each time to confess your sins, and he's listening, and he's just like, what is this what you did? Upon all the things that I brought you on the universe to do, and this is all you just spend your time doing, killing people, betraying, blackmailing, hating. Oh my God, now you have to come home. Pop, and you're gone. And you disappear. Okay? So if Jesus is busy doing what? I can't wait. Please don't miss the session Don't miss the session with Maponga, with Joshua Maponga tomorrow. Don't miss it, because that's the fire that we're bringing on. So you bring your confessions and all your bad deeds and all your stuff, and every session you are confessing. And like my brother Ernest said, I miss so many opportunities for Jesus to have ripped me off. You go for sessions of confession every day, and you come back and do the same things. That's us. So just imagine if Jesus was the human being that has to give you that grace, and he's so patient for thousands of years. So why aren't you patient about one another, about humanity? Why aren't you busy? Just mind your African business, drink your water, and just do only something that is called good. How you perceive it to be good. It's not your business to come here to judge people, how they think, how they dress, how they behave, how you want to teach them morals. Is that what you came to the universe to do? Just to sit and look at how many people dress by how much, how many they do this, and that's just all you came to do. You flip your Facebook and your WhatsApp and your YouTube. You don't have a reason to just click and subscribe. You're all there just criticize. No, this one because I don't like, because it's this. Oh, my face, he doesn't look like my face. Oh, no, he's not my taste. Oh, he's telling too much. He's talking too much. Oh, he's doing this too much. Is that what you came to this humanity to do? Is that? Question your intentions and your purpose and your vision and your mission in life. You'll be the happiest person on the universe, whether you are black or white. Question your purpose. If your mind portrays you, like we always say, oh, we women, we don't collaborate, we don't work together. And I tell them it's a fat lie. It's a fat lie. That's your impression about them. Oh, African men, oh, they do this, they do this. I say it's a fat lie. If I don't see it and I've not experienced it and I don't know it and I hear the gossips, what is my business? My business is, how do we love each other? How can we jealously fall in love like never before? Brother Paul is on the line. Tell us, give us more. I'm so sorry. Mr. Paul, I picked up your call, and I don't know whether it's the internet issue, it's just tripping. Every call that I pick is gone. Every call. The many calls that have been coming here, they want to share. I just click pick button, it's off. So drop in your comments on the WhatsApp chat. I will bring them up. I see most of us are just our YouTubers here. Hello, Benjamin Nirema. Our Swahili teacher is greeting us and asking, when are you starting to register for your Swahili classes on the Pan-African Daily TV Academy? Benjamin is here. I have to bring him on the show so that you see. That's Benjamin. He is our Swahili correspondent for teaching Swahili on the Pan-African Daily. He is also the one doing the translation on the Gospel According to Yeshua. And we are going, like we say, 2023 to start our webinars. And those of you that already want to enter into the language that by 2023, 25 on the Pan-African Daily, we're only going to be talking in Swahili. You have enough time, 3 years at least. We had already put the program for 1 year. After 1 year, all our programs, everything I'm going to be talking to you here about is in Swahili. And then a lot of people and the executives like, no, let's give a turn. You know, most of us still have to get it. Now we're giving you a 5-year plan, starting in a 3-year plan. And this is our mentor, Benjamin Nirema, is from Tanzania. He's our brother with a big, big, big heart for the love of one African language, Swahili. Okay, so I want to see some other person show me his face here and say, I can do this. What can you do for your people? And I'll bring you on the chat. What can you do for your people? We're looking for volunteers. What can you do for your people? How can you support to bring the beautiful story of Africa? That's what Pan-African Daily TV volunteering. Bring the passion and we train you and we give you the equipments that you need to be able to work and save your people. Volunteering doesn't mean you give up your job. No. Volunteering means you have your job and this, I put my own extra time to support this organization. We know a lot of you that have created platforms that are technical, tech savvies, like the tech savvy, like our brother Parker. A lot of you are so talented with your gift. Just volunteer this gift and give us just, even if it's just an hour in a day or 2 hours in a day or in a week or in a month. We appreciate you. We're not going to give you conditions. Okay, just tell us what you can do. Thank you, my king. Saying, Dauda is saying we're grateful, Nana F1. Yes. Bring your gift. Whether you are an engineer, we know a lot of you, you're tech service, you're so good in everything, even just narrating. We're building the media for Africans at home and abroad. Even though we call it media, it's an educational platform telling our stories by ourselves. Please volunteer. You see, I say it. And that's what he was about to say, but they don't want us to connect. No problem. I had told you the next time I'll be sending you your gums, your drums, your African drums. You're going to get it in our shop. And you already see the brands that I just showed you, sample brands. You've already seen the brands of our Drink Water and Mind My African Business in every format. We have just 2 slogans I told you, and they're all copyrighted. Creating the Africa we want and Drink Water and Mind My African Business. And they're going to come in all collections, okay? And we're starting with the Awoke collection. So we're going to combine it with our African clothings and our African fabrics, all right, in every format. So yes, you heard Mr. Brown said it. My job is voluntarily, Amy, because they are not paying me my worth. That's it. But sometimes we dilute ourselves. That's what voluntarily does. That's what volunteers do. That's what passionate people that are brought to change the world, that's what they do. No amount of money can pay you. If you're on a paid salary, creating the Africa we want, call yourself, you're making money from Mother Africa by calling yourself an African and putting those structures. Did I say you don't deserve to be paid? No. I just said the work that you get, the compensations that you get for is still valueless in terms of what you're putting out there. Exactly, like Jean-Jacques Dessalines and all of them, and the Amazons. So would you ask Queen Harriet Tubman to be paid for freeing the slaves, the thousands of slaves? If he had to charge for a pay, what would be her worth? Would you ask Kwame Nkrumah? Would you ask Patrice Lumumba? Would you ask Thomas Sankara if he had to put a budget, a payment, a check to say, this is how much I'm worth? That's why I love volunteering. That's why I love volunteers. And I learn it even from, like I said, from the systems of Germans. I learn it. Germans love to volunteer. And they like it. Even if you give them coffee to drink, they will not. The Germans have trained their citizens to do things and be proud of. Because each and every person will say, oh, a German helped me to do this. And that's the image of Germany. And so you see even a young volunteer, a German that is doing something. I mean, organic Germans that are doing something. And they love it. Even if you give them water to drink, they say, no, thank you. Even if they are thirsty and they are hungry. Because no amount of anything So you get volunteer positions. They come to work with their water, with their drink, with their everything. A lot have volunteered to us. All how we do build the mega Africa Festival Tübingen and our Africa festivals in Germany is all voluntarily. Everybody that has been there, the million followers, the people that are coming have all been voluntary. Doesn't mean we don't give them compensation for their tools and their time. No. That's why I want to teach you what volunteering is. Because when you understand the meaning of volunteering, you would understand that no amount of money can pay you. No amount. That's why I love my time. If I was working and to be paid here, do you think I would sit here with you for 3 hours? I would be looking at my time every time. If you were being paid to watch Pan-African Daily TV, you think you're going to be here? You think you will still be watching me in your hundreds here? Forget it. No way. Okay? If you were paid to be in this chat, Kojo, Ernest, Mr. Brown, all of you slave clones of the clone, if you were paid to just be in the chat box, I said, okay, I pay you a 50 cents for giving a comment, would you be here? Because everything that you put a salary on becomes work, and then it becomes difficult. So you wouldn't be here for 3 hours and commenting, because you'll be like, now how many are doing this for 50 cents? Oh, it's too small. That's why your job never satisfies you. It doesn't matter. That's why you see you complain every day about your payness, because you don't do it voluntarily. It's not satisfactory. So no amount of money is worth your time. And so you say, I'm a certificate as an engineer, I'm a certificate as a doctor, and you look at the work you put in and you look at the salary, you're always complaining that you don't have money. Because you look at the time. And because you complain, because you say, it's not worth. It's not worth my time. And they pay you $5,000 at the end of the day, but you have to get up very early in the morning, you have to do this, you do this. That's why digital space is the biggest development. Okay? Even if you get some few cents from AdSense, that okay, they're subscribing to your channel and we're producing a video and they're going to put a little bit of AdSense on it. Is that worth it? But at least, you see, YouTube is voluntarily compensating and saying thank you, because it's voluntarily. But now if you go into those mega deals of somebody putting a publicity here, and I've had thousands of it on the Pan-African Daily TV. Dr. Susan Tatah, I want to put my advert. And if I look at the company and I look at the advert, then I say, you know what, give me a break. You're not worth it. We don't want, your money is not worth it. Your money is not worth it to bring your brands that have no value, no respect. And because you want to give me a 5,000, a 500 euros, a 300 euros, a 20,000, you know, or a 50,000, and then you bring your trash and you bring abusive brands and put it on Pan-African Daily. That's a mess. That's an abuse of the first order. And that's how cheap we go selling Africa every day. Because of small little cents. Because of small things. We sell Africa for free, for nothing. Sell them even to your enemies. And that's why I say no. I get money, or we going to build this Pan-African Daily through our voluntary services. And if we're contributing a 1 penny, a $1, like Sister Nanada has contributed $10, and I saw another sister or brother that contributed $5. That's the biggest kind of money, because they give it from the spirit. They appreciate it. No amount of millions. I appreciate that. Your contribution. I'm going to be sharing the donations with you, and I told you, make sure you're putting your donation there for us to donate. But you will not understand what the widow's mite meant if you were not a Christian. It was not about a widow's mite that is small. Did they even tell you it was small? The Bible just takes everything and makes it everything small. Widow's Mite. And you see people who are giving from their best, the biggest gift when they give freely and they are happy giving. And then the Bible cuts it down and say it was a widow's mite. And we begin to say the mite was the smallest unit of donation. Who told you that? It was the biggest and the greatest donation ever. When you give from the space of giving everything in honor, and you're even thankful for giving, and you're even grateful that they take your donation even, then you count yourself blessed. Because that's what we do. That's what change makers do. I don't even take your money. If the vision and the passion is not there, don't send it. I said it. Don't subscribe to Pan-African Daily, even though we're looking for subscribe. We're talking for the conscious one that know what they bring into the table. Don't think I just need your subscription. Don't donate to Pan-African Daily if you are here to donate and to abuse motherland. Don't. We are cheerful for your 1 cent, for your 100,000, for your thousands, for your donation, for buying your product that you create, because it's a legacy. Because as I say, it's a spirit. You cannot pay a spirit anything. You will never pay Harriet Tubman. You will never pay Dr. Marcus Garvey. You will never pay Malcolm X. You never pay all this. You never pay Queen Zinger. You will never pay all of them. Never. So it's a privilege when you even give and take. Otherwise, you're going to be giving it into spaces that you don't need. So exactly, that's the mission that we are on. You're not worth it. We don't even take even your support. We're not going to put any brand deals on us. If it doesn't look like us, we don't wear. I'm talking about the spirit. I'm not just talking about the clothes. That's what I was saying yesterday. It's not just a t-shirt that we're talking about here. If you're sleeping, we interchange. That's how we used to do. We can interchange. You can go and be sleeping, and then the others will be wake keeping. That's how Jesus did, and his 12 disciples when he went up to the mountain to pray. And he came, and all of them were praying like, not even one person would keep awake. Not even one. They were all snoring and being in their comfort zones. No, we're here. If you feel tired, go and sleep. On the Pan-African Daily, on days like this, when we feel like, like teaching ourselves and empowering ourselves, and I still see us 100 here, why am I sleeping? We only go to sleep because we know we have work to do tomorrow, okay? Work for our people. So thank you so very much. We see us tomorrow. And be a volunteer. Be a volunteer. Bring the gift that motherland gave to you. Be thankful to the Most High and the God of your ancestors. Send your email at panafricandailytv@gmail.com. And the title of that email is Volunteer. Okay? We appreciate you. You're not doing it for Dr. Susan Tatah, you're doing it for you. Because if we keep saying you're doing it for somebody, even if we say you're doing it for your continent, we say you were doing it for your next generation. That's why people don't do it. You are doing it for yourself. Can you be the finger that you bite? Can you bite your own finger? Thank you, Patrick. Patrick said we're not sleeping, our queen. Yeah, I know. That's why I see you watching me here. Can you bite your own finger, which fits you? You take fufu, you eat fufu, you take the same finger, you drink palm wine, you eat jollof rice, you eat atike, you eat what? Please give me the name of fufu in Swahili. Come on. You see, you eat all those things, you eat achu. You eat pounded yam and egusi soup, and you bite that finger again. Can you do it? That's Mother Africa. Feed you, give you life. You are called African. You are here in the space, and you bite it again, ugali. Yes, thank you, ugali. Can you eat ugali and then bite the finger? So you are doing it for yourself. Send your email at panafricandailytv@gmail.com. Okay? We appreciate you, and we say good night. Good night. I'm saying good night to us because I know others that are coming back from work, they're going to watch this conversation. It's so long. It's almost 3 hours now. Oh my God, 3 minutes to 3 hours. But don't worry, we're going to cut them into particles. We're going to cut them into reproduction. And you can also download them and cut them. That's what we're saying. Download them from our website, reproduce them into content, and then you share it on Pan-African Daily TV, and you put it on TikTok, our TikTok, and you put it on our Facebook pages. That's what we need you as volunteers. Take down the messages, reproduce them, send them even back to us. We're going to stream it live, and it's going to be you as the correspondent and not me. Now you see the way people are doing TikTok business or TikTok videoing. That's why we're creating this content for our volunteers, and that's what they're going to be doing. They're going to be chopping out just the message, and they're going to be reporting on those messages, but it's going to be their face on it. Is that not what TikToking is doing now? And that's why we do the production long. I'm not just saying here because we don't have some things to do. Cheryl is not here because, or Mr. Paul or Mr. Patrick or Sister Patrick, because they don't have work to do. I know Monica is already sleeping, but she has her earpiece on even as she's sleeping in her room, listening. Because you can listen to us without watching us, you know that. And that's our radio. Yeah, so our volunteers will be able to take these videos, chop them into reels, chop them into TikTok videos, and cut them into 30 seconds, 60 seconds, 1 second, and they start rebranding and they start sharing this message. Okay? So we've done a 3 hours production, but do you know how many TikTok videos we're going to produce here? You know how many reels we're going to produce here? More than 10, 20. That's how much your volunteerism is worth. Okay? So I thank you very much. And I look forward to receiving. I haven't checked my email as I'm talking to you, but I already know that a lot now inboxing. I'm saying yes. And all of you tech savvy, I need the tech team. Please, if you have an idea on technical services, that's why our streams are always blurred, or they chopping up or something, and we have all of your skills, and you're keeping the skills and waiting for somebody to give you a job. How sad. I am here to give you the job of your life. There's no employer than Dr. Susan Tatah and the Pan-African Daily. 80,000 subscribers, million followers. Who is the biggest job creator for Africans at home and abroad? Pan-African Daily TV. Okay? So don't mess it up. If you have an idea in technique, whether you're creating content, whether you're a photographer, whether you're doing Fujis, whether you're doing reproduction, whether you're just commenting, commentators are what we're looking for. You're going to take our videos, you chop them, and you comment on them, and you share on Reel and TikTok. And begin to see how much you are going to flow in abundance. Okay? I promise you that. You will never be let down by Mother Africa. Africa will never fail you. So stay faithful to Africa. Okay? All right. So we say good night, and we see us. Good morning to some of you that are already dreaming now. We see us tomorrow. Bye-bye.
You are watching the Pan-African Daily TV with Dr. Susan Tatah. The Africa we want. Unity, consciousness, our culture, our spirituality, our history. One Africa for Africans worldwide. Motherland's calling its diaspora home. Join my voice. Join my team. Join my campaign. Campaign 21 hashtag 1 million subscribers on the Pan-African Daily TV YouTube. Be a volunteer. Apply now. Be the new Africa.